Jamaica Labour Party accused the People's National Party of being behind the bomb threats. The opposition fired back and the private sector sounded the alarm. Raymond Morrison picks up the story.
Bomb threats across Kingston and rural Jamaica, an explosive development on the very day that police, soldiers and election day workers cast their ballots. Business operations interrupted, government ministries evacuated, and a shadow cast over the special services vote. In a strongly worded statement, JLP General Secretary Dr. Horace Chang accused elements of the opposition's People's National Party of trying to derail the process. Dr. Chang insisted that law and order will prevail and accused the PNP of attempting to undermine democracy. But the opposition was quick to push back. PNP General Secretary Dr. Dayton Campbell said the accusations were baseless and outrageous.
And I'm wondering if every accusation by the Labour Party is an admission of guilt. There is no reason that the People's National Party would want to disrupt the voting. We are encouraging persons to come out and vote for a better life. The police will benefit tremendously, and therefore what has been said by Minister Chang, the GenSec of the Labour Party, and the Minister of National Security and the Deputy Prime Minister is false, and he ought not to make such false statement. It is unbecoming of him and the organization that he represents.
Campbell then went further and turned the tables on the JLP, making a direct appeal to voters.
The people are tired of this sort of government, and we really need to move forward as a country. So come Wednesday, I'm encouraging the entire population to put the X beside the head so we can return decency to our governance structure in this country.
The private sector has also entered the fray. The JMEA, JCC and PSOJ issued a strong joint statement condemning the threats, warning against fear and intimidation, and calling on Jamaicans to protect democracy with their vote. PSOJ President Metro Sialga said, quote, "The right to vote is one of the most powerful tools we have as citizens. We must honor our forefathers' legacy by ensuring every Jamaican can vote without fear," end quote. Businesses lost productivity today, but private sector leaders insist that Jamaica cannot turn back to the violent days of the past. With voter turnout falling to just 37% in the last general election, they warn that every citizen must shoulder their responsibility to cast their ballot this September 3. Bomb hoax or not, the message from both sides of the political divide and from the private sector is clear. Jamaica's democracy must be defended, and the title of its next chapter. Raymond Morrison, CVM News.
In other news, a licensed firearm holder in Clarendon is dead following a domestic dispute Thursday evening. He has been identified as 56-year-old Dean Melville, an architect of Mimosa Drive, Glencoe Meadows in Spalding, Clarendon. Reports are Melville was allegedly shot inside his house on August 28. It was reported sometime after 9, Melville's wife went home, and while her husband was sleeping, she reportedly went through his phone. She reportedly took his firearm from its storage before returning the cell phone. It's reported her husband woke and grabbed the firearm, which was still in her hand. There was an explosion and Mr. Melville reportedly sustained a fatal injury. He was transported to the Percy Junior Hospital by his wife, where he was pronounced dead. And 36-year-old Dwight Atkinson, otherwise known as 14 of Barbary Hill, Lucy, Hanover, has been charged with assault at common law and possession of a prohibited weapon following an incident in his community on Saturday, August 23. The Lucy police reported that around 2:30 p.m. Atkinson was involved in an altercation regarding his motorcycle. He allegedly loaned the motorcycle to the complainant. However, it was reportedly returned damaged. Now, a dispute escalated and Atkinson allegedly pulled his firearm and chased the complainant while uttering threatening words. Atkinson was later reported and apprehended by the police and charged. His court date is being finalized. There are mixed reactions as to who came out on top in Thursday's heated leaders debate, which brought the 3-night political debate series to a close. Both party leaders traded verbal blows throughout this 90-minute showdown, each claiming the edge as the election nears an end. Well, nears, rather. Amoy Harriet has that recap.
In the good spirit of the debates, we now invite Dr. Holness and Mr. Golding to shake hands.
An awkward but humorous ending to an otherwise tense 90 minutes. Earlier, Jamaica Labour Party leader Dr. Holness and People's National Party President Mark Golding exchanged blows in the leaders' debate, the last of 3 political showdowns staged by the Jamaica Debates Commission. Now things got heated as the 2 men sparred over several issues, ranging from corruption to the state of the economy, income tax relief for Jamaicans, crime, as well as the question of dual citizenship. The matter of tax relief opened the night's exchanges, and much like the topics that followed, it was met with firm disagreement on both sides.
So the debt to GDP ratio, which we inherited at 147% of GDP at the beginning of 2012, is now, in this fiscal year, projected to achieve the target of 60% of GDP. Once that happens, we no longer have to reduce debt as a priority. We just have to maintain that debt profile. That will release resources of 2.5% to 3% of GDP.
You know, there is a song which says, when the rum tells you you're a big dancer. I don't know what the leader of the opposition was drinking. Firstly, the debt to GDP for this fiscal year is not projected to be 60%. It is projected to be 65% thereabouts.
Mr. Holness's data is not current. The Fiscal Commissioner issued a release, I think it was today actually, indicating that with the National System of Accounts being updated, GDP has been adjusted and we're now at 62% of GDP. That's what the debt is at the end of March this year.
Attention shifted to Mr. Golding's dual citizenship, which once again came under scrutiny.
First of all, I think the Prime Minister repeated innuendo or direct attack which has been leveled by his party on my nationality. And, you know, I just wanted to just make it absolutely clear that I am indeed born here as a Jamaican. Here is my birth certificate, and it shows I was born at the University Hospital on July 19th, 1965, and it's right here. I hope your cabinet can pick it up. And I have a copy for you, Prime Minister.
Still, it was the personal finances of both men that ultimately took center stage.
He, the top-of-the-Irish lawyer, has made billions of this, yet he does not disclose this in his integrity report. In fact, he doesn't even have a house in Jamaica. How can we believe you? And do you have assets in overseas companies for which you have not disclosed?
You're a hypocrite, Andrew Holness, to be accusing me of anything in relation to FinSac when you have been a direct beneficiary of the losses of somebody who was FinSac, who lost their home because of FinSac.
Again, you go to attacking my wife when you, according to the Contractor General's report, benefited from a sweetheart deal that was irregular. You benefited off the backs of the Jamaican people in creating your wealth.
Now, as the campaign season heads into its final stretch, it's left to be seen whether Thursday's fiery debate will shift voter sentiment. Amoy Harriet for CVM News.
Now, the Jamaica Labour Party, JLP, is firing back at opposition leader Mark Golding, accusing him of making a series of false claims during the national debate. The governing Jamaica Labour Party says Mark Golding has developed a chronic habit of making what it calls bold statements that are misleading, completely false, or both. Among the claims the JLP says are untrue are that the Prime Minister has 28 bank accounts and he withdrew money from Ponzi schemes before their collapse. According to JLP campaign spokesperson Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, Golding's remarks are hypocritical and deceptive.
Not only did Mr. Golding make false statements without any regard for the truth, but he also displayed truly hypocritical conduct when he described salary increases as unconscionable, knowing fully well that he had accepted his own increase while the Prime Minister had declined. So to this day, having accepted the increase, Mr. Golding remains the highest paid politician in this country. Yet he takes the stance which he did last night. Mr. Golding also sought to drag the Prime Minister's name through the mud for good faith investments in the same way undertaken by many Jamaicans. Yet he was stumped when reminded that the PNP itself had already admitted to receiving $1 million United States dollars from Olint.
Please join us for more CVM News at 7 in just a moment.